What's happening, party people? Well, it's been real and it's been nice, but it hadn't been real nice. Nah, I'm just kidding. Had a great time yesterday with Frank. Got that S70 to where he needs it to be. So I am moving on. I am headed to San Diego today from Roswell, New Mexico. So I'll be going close to Rio down through Las Cruces and across Highway 10 to the San Diego area. So if you need my help and you are on that route, you need me to scan something, look at something for you, give you a hand real quick, something like that, call or text me. Other than that, I'll be trying to make it to San Diego today. That's about 13-hour drive, so I'm going to get with it. Appreciate you all watching. Hope you enjoyed today's clips. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Here we are with my friend Willie Gillies. 2012 Volvo XC90 has an erratic fuel gauge, and we're going to replace the fuel pump that has the sending unit attached to it. I understand, man, there's a bunch of different variations of this one. This is a 3.2 front wheel drive with a third row seat. You use it if you need to. I hope it helps. First thing we want to do is remove the seat out of the way. I don't think you have to remove the third row seat. We're going to try to get it without it. It may be different with an all-wheel drive vehicle. You have 14 millimeter screws in it, 2 in the front, 2 in the back of each seat. Very first thing you want to do is make sure you have all your tools and parts available. I don't recommend using aftermarket fuel pumps. You want something that's as best as possible, and OEM's probably the best as possible. I also recommend you get the tool to remove the fuel pump top, and you can disconnect the battery if you want. I don't think it's a big deal if you do not. This vehicle doesn't have any SRS information. I don't think that will be affected by it, but you can disconnect the battery before you open up that tank if you want. All right, so you have covers. You got to pull out, work out. Might have to do it with a screwdriver, bone tool, something. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Let me get a screwdriver and try to work those out. This first one just pulled off. It was a little loose. This one doesn't look loose, so let's see if we can get it started with a bone tool. I just got a little release there. Yeah, it has a little release right on the top right here. Push down on that release and push it forward. Then the next one is probably got the same thing. Push down on the little release. Oh, let me get this one closer to me first. Yeah, it's got a little release in there, and it pulls right out with a bone tool. And again, pry that little release there, get that loose, slides right off. Next, you got these 14s all the way across, 2 on each seat. I'm going to slide it forward and take these plastic things off the back. Do 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 do. How did they come off, Gilbert? Ugh. Just put a screwdriver in the side of it and pry it up nice and slow, and it massages out. Take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you got these bolts here under the covers. Let me see one of those. Yeah, you got like latches on the side, latches on the back end. Take all of these 6mm bolts out. The nice thing is these seats are self-contained and you don't have to take a seatbelt loose from them. The middle one has the seatbelt part of it. You got some kind of plug here. I'm gonna push in a button and unplug it. It goes under the carpet, but it's attached to the center seat. Don't want to break that wire pulling the seat out. Don't want to come out. Did you have a screwdriver up here? So once you get all 4 bolts out of each seat, fold it down and lift them out. They lift right out. Lift this handle up, get it to fold down. Now it's stuck, it'll lift right out. Let me get this one out first. I think you gotta take the side one out before you get the center one out. To get the center seat out, you gotta lift the front up and then lift it out. Take these little vents off. They just pull forward. Now we gotta take this carpet up. Get your trash off of it, maybe vacuum it if you want. Well, it's under this trim piece here. Work it out from under the trim piece without breaking the trim piece. Then it goes under this 3rd row seat. So I'm gonna take this bolt out of the 3rd row seat cartridge, and hopefully that'll move enough for me to get the carpet from up under it. This seat belt, if you want to get this out of the way so you get this trim off, if you look down in there's a little metal tab. You push that tab in and it releases the seat so you can undo the seat belt. I don't know if this can push it in far enough. I'm on the wrong side. Oh, I don't see that one. Oh, the tab is down further. Let me get a smaller screw. All right, this tab is on this side. So you look in there, push that tab in here. You can unlatch that seat belt. Now you can get this out of your way. Massage it from up in the front. On each side, you want to untuck the carpet from under this piece here, back to the corner. Then you can lift the carpet up and out of the way. Next, you got this piece here that you need to remove. Lift it up out of the way. And now you got the fuel pump assembly there. You got 10mm screws. Take all 4 of them out. and you should see your access to your sending unit. Next, I'm going to take these 2 bolts out of the cartridge for the rear seat. And see if we could maneuver this carpet out from under that, or may have to take this piece out too. We had to untuck the carpet from under the trim and slide it from under the rear seat cartridge. Push down on it there and slide it from under there. Massage it a little bit. No, I don't.
Yeah, maybe this goes up a little.
No. I just slid it out from under there. Can't get that corner out. Yeah, there it comes. Oh, that ain't gonna be fun going back, is it?
Yeah, but it's still. Is that a bar? Let me get this out.
Let me take this piece off of here. Pull this little rubber piece out of there. It's held on. Grab that little tab on the front edge of it, lifted it out. Now I got 2 T25s that I'm gonna remove there. So I want to see if there's another bolt or 2 on the front side of this seat cartridge. I removed those 2 T25s and massaged it from the back. It slid under the trim in the back. And I see a bolt. And I got a bolt right there. I'm going to take that bolt up, and hopefully that'll let this cartridge tilt up a little bit so we can get some more of the stuff out. All of these seat bolts are 13 millimeter on this vehicle. So next we're going to take this piece of trim off here. I think it just clips on your vent. Somebody... pull it up here. Hold on, let's get this first. Pull this up here and massage these down and out of your ductwork there. Next, you got your carpet stuff here that you gotta fold up. Next, you got this.
Yeah, if you do it soft, yeah, here. I already got this side off. Hold on one second.
Gently pull that piece up.
Yeah, if not, it'll break off.
And now you got your carpet. You can hold back somehow and get that sending unit out of there. All right, so let me remove that lid. Remove those 4 bolts, lifted that off, set it aside, and there's the sending unit. You got a big plug here, you got 2 fuel lines there, and then you got to route your wires wherever they go. So let's see how we're gonna deal with that. First thing we're gonna do is unplug this big plug, and it should have a tab release.
No, we should take a picture. We'll see how everything is. Can I take a picture? Right. Take a picture?
I got it. Yeah, I can take a picture right here.
Let's get it there, take a picture.
Let me put. There's your fuel sending unit. You got 2 fuel lines. You got a plug there, and this wire stuff in your gasket. So you want to get a picture of that so you can put all that stuff back the way it was. First thing I'm gonna do is unplug this big plug. Looks like it's got a tab on the side over here. Yep. Pushing that tab and unplug it. Massage it off. Let me make sure I got a good grip on it. Need to get something to hold this up here. Get some Gorilla Tape or something. Wrap it around the tape. Push it under that insulation. Hold that up and out of your way. I put a clamp on ours. Next, you got to disconnect the fuel lines. They have these push releases. You push those in, Sometimes you can push them in with your finger. Most time you gotta use like a little screwdriver or something. Push that in and massage the fuel line off. So both sides unplugs. Get your glove. Push both sides. Open the cap on the fuel tank to relieve pressure from the tank. It reduces the leakage. We got the main harness disconnected, both fuel lines disconnected. Now we can put the fuel release, fuel cap, the fuel sending unit release tool on there and unscrew that. And that's this tool right here. Fits down in there and you twist it counterclockwise to take it apart. Make sure you don't damage any of your wires or your fuel lines. Now I have the fuel tank cap tool on there and just twist that thing counterclockwise. Use 2 hands so you don't break any of the tabs off the cap. Now you could spray this off and get the dirt from around it so you don't drop any dirt inside the tank. A lot of times when people do their fuel sending unit, they also do their fuel filter if they haven't been doing that on a regular basis. Because this is the pump and the float. Let me finish taking that off. I have it all the way loose. I gotta move the fuel lines out of the way so I can lift it up and out of there.
We're about to lift it up. We gotta get this side first.
All right. Now you move.
Let's go on this side. Here, you wanna do this side now?
Honey, man, there ain't no wires connected to this.
Now before you tie it to this.
Do what?
You gotta tie it to this before you unplug it. The one that you unplug.
Oh, you can feed it over. Okay.
Yeah. See, we're gonna have to.
All right.
So here, do that first.
Hold on a second. Now that everything is disconnected on that side and the cap is off, you got to come over here and remove this cap because there's a electrical wire attached inside the tank on this side. So let me grab the tool and take this one up. After you get the cap off, you can feel the grit and the dirt on this thing from the dirt that got up over the tank. I recommend that you vacuum this off before you pull it up, and note what direction that's pointing. That stuff is pointing back, that arrow. Make sure when you put it back in, you put it back in that way. Now, I broke this loose and it had pressure and it jumped up about 1 inch. So now you gotta carefully lift this up. This is a sending unit on the passenger side. Sending unit on the driver's side. And it has a wire connected to it, so hopefully this is not the one that's got the issue. I'm not sure if you could tell what side has the issue, but both of them has a float on them. All right, so here you got that yellow connector there. You want to push down on that or kind of push it away from the side of this unit, and then it will slide up. The unit, this piece here will slide up and out of that yellow connector, but you don't want to let that go, so tie something to it before you undo it, because you don't want it to flop around in the tank and then you can't get it or reach it or find it. All right, I got a little wire wrapped on it. I'm gonna go ahead and unclip it, slide the sending unit up and out of the way from this side. Once I get the sending unit lifted up, I'm gonna unplug that black wire from it and get it the rest of the way removed, and remove it the rest of the way. I got that unplugged. This should come up the rest of the way. Hopefully that's not the one that's causing our issues. And now we can pull this up and over to that side when we remove the pump assembly from that side. I'm gonna vacuum this dirt again because there's still dirt there that could fall down in the tank, and some has. Again, here's the new pump with the float sending unit on there and the wire connection that goes over to the other side. And it's got the arrow on there. That arrow goes to the back. You can see it pointing to the back there. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up out of here. Trying not to drop too much dirt down in there. I'm gonna vacuum this one more time. And then I'm gonna pull it over there, but I'll have the wire sticking out of that hole so I can feed that back over. Caught most of the fuel in the plastic bag, so you want to, go ahead. You want to put a plastic bag along here, and when you lift the sending unit out, it's going to be full of gas, to my surprise, and it spilled into the plastic bag. And then I pulled the wire loose. You can see the red wire here from the other side of the tank. I still got the red wire over there, and was able to catch all of the fuel. I don't have any of it down here, so that's good. I probably won't have a bunch of fuel odor down here. So I'm gonna vacuum here again. I'm gonna wipe this up with a rag, wipe that seal off, set it back in place, and get the new sending unit assembly wire hooked up to this red wire and lower it down into the tank, pull it across to that side so it'll plug into that other sending unit. Dual sending units. That's the float for the sending unit on this side, and that's actually the contacts for the sending unit part right there. As that float goes up and down, it rides along there and sends resistance up to the fuel gauge. But on this car, you got two. So with this kind of mileage, we're replacing a pump in this sending unit, and hopefully the other one's good. But you could do both if you want. Got our pulling wire attached. We're going to lower that down in there, lower the sending unit down there, make sure the arrow is pointing back, and then lower the fuel tank cap on there and tighten it down. And we'll connect it over there and do the other side. Let me say this. This pump assembly sending unit is kind of spring loaded. It pushes up. So you got to hold that down, and then you got to get this ring in position and start turning that down. And it's not easy. I would rate it 4 or 5. So once you get it turned down far enough, you could probably let this go. Make sure this is positioned exactly where it needs to be. Back with the arrow to the back, held down tight, and then centered in that hole so that seal will sit right, and then tighten that down. And then when you do the other side, it's going to be the same thing. And my recommendation is you take it to the gas station, you fill it up with gas, you make sure you don't have a leak. Because if these things are not locked in right and tight and in the right position, they're going to leak. And then you'll be taking all this stuff back loose. So let me go ahead and get this tightened down with the tool, do the other side, plug in my fuel lines, plug in my harness, and we'll take it, fill it up with gas. Well, we got about 1/4 of a tank or less in here now.
Yes.
Yeah, we got maybe 1/8 of a tank.
I have to fill it up.
But you don't want to do this job with more than 1/2 a tank of gas in there if you can avoid it. I got that thing tight, and the owner came and tightened it some more. At least, you see that pointing at that? He tightened it at least another 1/2 a tab on there. He said it's got to be really tight or it's going to leak. So you put your fuel lines on. You'll hear him click. Put that on all the way down. Now we're going to do the other side. I undid my wire that I used to pull this wire under here. I'm gonna wipe out my gasket track one more time, put my gasket back in there. Then I'm gonna hook this back into that side, plug that wire in the bottom of that, lower this down, make sure my arrow's to the back, and tighten this cap on. Got that plugged in, get that plastic piece locked in place. Now I'm gonna lower all this down into the tank. I got the gasket in place. Then I need to get the cap on and get it tight.
I mean, you didn't put the cross thread or nothing, right?
I twisted it in by hand first, and I tightened it pretty tight by the tool. Everything's plugged in. On my way to the gas station. Here we go. Let's see if this fuel gauge works. Bam! Fuel gauge works. Hopefully that'll keep going. Let's go fill her up. Should have disconnected the battery. I got a service airbag urgent light. Probably a seatbelt notification. According to this fuel gauge, we got less than an eighth of a tank. So we're gonna go fill it all the way up. Start it right up. I'm surprised I didn't have to prime it or anything. Here we are at the gas station. I'm gonna put 5 gallons at a time in, and I'm gonna look at it, make sure I don't see any leakage on either side. So let me go in, give them my cash I got, and start filling it up. It does smell like a little gas, but not bad. Nothing's leaking under there. Nothing's leaking inside. We're gonna stop every 5 gallons for a few minutes. No leakage there. No evidence of leakage there. Let's go ahead and pump 5 more. Do. Nothing on the ground. Doing good, folks. Coming up on 10 gallons. Gonna stop, check for leaks. No evidence of leakage there. No evidence of leakage there. Nothing on the ground. 5 more gallons. Coming up on 15 gallons. No evidence of leakage there. No evidence of leakage there. Nothing under the vehicle. Let's go ahead. 5 more gallons. It stopped. It must be full, so we're just gonna round it up to the next nickel. We do not overfill vehicles. There we go. We'll double check it for leaks. Bone dry there. Let's go to the other side. Bone dry here. Bone dry under the vehicle. Let's go get our chains, drive it home, and check one more time. Oh, forgot to report. We have a full tank of gas. Whoop, whoop. Clear itself. How do you unlock the door?
Gotta hit it twice.
And here we are, folks. No fuel leaks. So we're gonna make sure your cables are stored right in the gasket. Put that gasket on, vacuum that dirt around there. Make sure the cords are properly stored in that gasket like they are. Put that cap on. We have no leaks. And we're gonna reverse all this removal process. You don't have to remove this trim in this door jamb or this seat belt. I thought was gonna have to get it out to get this carpet out, but the carpet can be tucked under there. So let's get this stuff put back in. First thing we're gonna do is put these 2 caps on the tank. We got the 2 panels on. Now we put this foam on here. Massage it in. Try not to break it. Now we're gonna let the carpet down on it. Now we're gonna put these 2 vents back up in here. That one goes on that side, this one goes on this side. Do they have right and left? Well, I don't see right and left on them, but this one goes this way. Make sure it's plugged into the vent, and then this pushes on that little screw tab thing, wherever that screw tab thing goes. Where is it? Oh, way up here. Screw tab thing way up here. So let me get this in here. We got these vents up in there. That was like a Chinese jigsaw puzzle. This one fits over top of the vent in there. That one fits inside the vent in there. And then you press them over that there. They didn't have any nuts, they just pressed over. Next, I'm gonna put this center thing in after I put that bolt in, and this bolt in. Tuck the back of it in there, hooked it over where it belonged, put those 2 screws in there, drop that rubber piece in there. Now we're gonna lower this foam in here.
I don't know, this way?
Do. Maybe it's this way.
Can't remember. Oh yeah.
There it is. Great fit.
Carpet.
All right, now we're gonna put the carpet in. It's gonna be tough because we gotta tuck it back up under there, and I put those screws in. We should have tucked that carpet in before I put those screws in. Now that we got this piece down, we're gonna maneuver the carpet, massage it up under here where it belongs. Got that corner tucked in. It was kind of tough, but we pried it up right there at that mounting point. Got it massaged up under there. Now we're gonna massage this side up under here. I'm gonna put the pry bar under there, pry this up, and work this corner of the carpet in, and then we should have the carpet in position. Well, getting that carpet tucked back in was a task, a big task. Got that secured, and I'm gonna put this piece back in the center, hook it under there in the back, 2 T25s, drop the rubber piece in, because I already got that bolt in there. Put in the 2 floor vents, 1 on each side. I'm gonna clip this in there and then back here. Then I'm gonna latch in the seatbelt. It just pushes down and latches in. Got this snap back in, tucked in under there. Again, the floor vents are down. We're gonna set the center seat in, guide pins in the floor, and then back over the bolts and put those bolts in it. Got these plastic pieces slid in the front. Now you slide the seats forward and put the covers over the rear bolts. And put all 4 of those, all 6 of those covers on. And you're all done. So you got a little clip there, a track there, and clips on both sides of it. And it's got a track on that post there. So and you got carpet indentation to kind of guide you through it. Easy peasy.
It goes that way?
Yeah. Yep, that way.
Not too bad.
I need to reach that one. And as you see, we still have an airbag service light. I did plug it in and stowed it properly. And this is the scanner we're going to use to reset that. And there's our code. Seatbelt tensioner, middle, rear, resistance too high, which means it was unplugged. All right, so let's make sure we don't have no SRS light. No SRS light. No messages in the system. We are good to go. I'll make a tool list, but after doing the job, there's a couple things you need to be aware of. Number one, this vehicle has 2 sending units. One on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. The one on the passenger side is the fuel sending unit that has the fuel pump in it. Car had 175,000 miles on it, so we went for the pump and all. We did not do the passenger side sending unit, so we was taking a chance there. Number two, because it has a passenger side sending unit, there's a wire harness that goes through the tank over to the passenger side. So you got to take both fuel access panels off and take both fuel contraptions. You got to remove both sides of the fuel tank caps. So you want to make sure you got less than a quarter of a tank of gas. If at all possible, run the gas down. Number three, if you have a third row seat, you could do this with the third row seat in there, but it's hard to tuck the carpet in and out of those front corners of the third row seat. Very difficult. Last but not least, your center seat in the back, right behind the driver's seat. Your second row seat, that center seat, has a seat belt sensor. If you unplug that sensor, it's going to set off your SRS light. So you should disconnect your battery before you unplug that seat. If the battery's not disconnected, you'll set off your SRS light and you'll need a scanner code reader to reset that. That's capable of resetting SRS codes. So just wanted to let you be aware of that. Took us maybe 2 hours, including the leak check. The toughest part of the job was getting that carpet tucked back under the corners of that third row seat. This is how the floor looks after cleaning up all that oil spill we had. Don't even look like oil ever spilled over there. And still running good, no fuel leaking. We are done for the day. Here you have it, folks. Uncut and unedited. I am on my way to San Diego, California. And I'm going to go ahead and post this video whenever I get internet connection. I don't know if I got any connection or not. So again, if you need to see me along the route between Roswell, New Mexico and San Diego, California, you need me to scan a car for you, ask me a quick question, have me show you something, you know, that won't take no more than 30, 40 minutes. I'll be glad to help. Other than that, I will catch you folks in San Diego. I'll be there tonight. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.